Hello and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio Moonstruck TV. So we're going to have a wonderful show, and we're going to have two callers call in for some readings, which is going to be lovely. But before we go to our callers, I'd like to sort of talk about, there are lots of people, I believe, who are out there that get sort of things about sort of, a psychic awareness or an intuition, or have a feeling about things. And I just think that I could perhaps give some tips on these shows, because I think people would benefit from having some sort of, mediumistic sort of tips of how to develop. And, what I was thinking is that the first thing that we need to sort of understand in our development is that we have 7 chakras, and those 7 chakras start in the base at the bottom of our spine, and that is our base chakra. And then we have one which is on, just below our sort of, tummy button, and that is our sacral chakra. Then above the tummy button, which is our solar plexus. Then into the middle of our chest, which is our heart, and then the throat is a chakra. And then we have what's known as the third eye, which is just above your eyebrows and in the middle of your forehead. And then the final one is the crown chakra. And each one of those chakras has a color. And the first one is red, and then the which is the base. Then the next one up is orange. Then it's yellow. Then the heart is green. The throat is blue, and then it's violet on the third eye, and the crown is indigo. So the way I remember those colours, because it's difficult, isn't it? If you're, starting out on this journey, is I'm from England, and there was a Richard of York, and he had a battle. And so I always remember the colours as Richard of York gave battle in vain. And they are the same order of a rainbow. So it's a sort of like the same order of a spectrum of light. So Richard is red, Off is orange, York is yellow, gave is green, and and so on and so forth. So Richard of York gave battle in vain. And now these chakras, almost like what a lot of people teach is to bring up the energy through the chakras to the sort of top of your mind, and once you've done that, you're sort of opening up to the spirit world. What I do is I just generally sort of, bring that energy up, and I don't really sort of think much about the chakras. But one of the things that I think is important that I was going to talk about today is the third eye. And the third eye is where you can see clairvoyantly, and you're able to see things that and it's an image that is just sort of, almost like in front of you. But it feels like it's in your mind still. It feels like your mind is bigger than your head. And it's just sort of in front of you that you see that with your third eye. But it's you always have to sort of open up first, and then sort of look in that spot to sort of see what you can see. So that's sort of, a bit of a sort of starting point. And I think, and I always call it sort of opening up to the power. And I think that is something that we should all practice, opening up and sitting in that space where we've pulled up the energy to the top of our head, and just sitting in that space. And that allows us to become more and more open. The longer we sit in that space, the more we open up to the spirit world. And, I was looking at some work with Buddhism last night, and I was watching this documentary that was done on the BBC, and I found it on YouTube, and it was about the 7 wonders of Buddhism, and they, their ethos is to meditate. So and it's done in a similar way. You're just bringing your mind up to to a higher position. And you know, it's done in a similar way so that you can, you know, become more, you know, evolved in the world. And that's the sort of, you know, the ethos of Buddhism, very simply put. And I'm sure if you're a Buddhist, you probably be slapping my wrist, because I don't, you know, I don't claim to be a Buddhist and I don't know everything about it. So if I'm describing it slightly wrongly, please do scream at me. But I do think that you know, my understanding is that it's about, you know, being able to go to nirvana and not have to do that recycling of constant sort of lives in reincarnation. And so, you know, through going into the power or meditating, what you're doing is you're actually, you know, sensing and having awareness of ideas about life, and you become more evolved as a result. And you know, that can't be a bad thing. So you know, if all you do is sit in the power and or meditate, then that is an excellent thing, and it's a good start to develop your mediumship. So I think it's about time we went to some callers, and I believe we have Campsie in Quaker City, Ohio. Are you there, Campsie? And we're just waiting for Campsie. And so whilst I'm waiting for her, I'm just going to continue on a little bit about you know, the idea of sitting in the power. One of the things that I really like about sitting in the power is that it's sort of quite calming. It calms you down, and I think that, you know, if you suffer from anything like anxiety or even high blood pressure, you know, that has a medical, you know, it's known to reduce your blood pressure. You know, and I do think it would help with anxiety as well. And I think that, you know, sort of, you know, also some mental health, you know, generally mental health issues, because it calms you down and it puts a different perspective on you. Because what you're doing is you're connecting with spirit, and that spirit energy will be around you. And that can only be sort of healing. But those are the things that I'm particularly aware of that you know, is beneficial in you know, with sort of meditation and sitting in the power. You know, once you've sat in the power, you know, what's so great about it is what you're doing is you're opening up the door to allow spirit to enter in. And that's when you can access your third eye. So you're looking to see. But, you know, another faculty that I particularly have is the clairaudience. And so you can go to sort of, you know, the right side of your head is generally where it will be found. And I think it may be different if you are left-handed. But if you're right-handed, it will be found on the right side. But if you're left-handed, it may be on the left side. So look out for that. So, you know, that's where you can, you know, if you put your focus to that area, that's where you will get your clairaudience. But anyway, I believe we have a caller ready, and that's Mary in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Hello, Mary. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Oh, hello. And have you ever had a reading before, Mary?
No, ma'am, this is my first one.
Oh, gosh. Well, it's not frightening, I can promise you. And so what I generally say to people is that when you're getting a reading, you know, because it's such a short space of time on this show, give me an idea of where you'd like me to focus. You know, if you want guidance from my guides, or who you would like to connect to in the spirit world. So is there sort of, you know, anywhere that you'd like me to focus?
My mother in the spirit world.
Okay. Right, I'm just sort of connecting to the spirit world now. Did your mother like singing?
Yes, she did.
because she's singing, and she's showing me singing, and I feel like she had quite a good voice as well. But I feel that she makes me feel like it's more to do with church or something of that nature. Does that make sense to you, Mary?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and she almost felt when sort of going to church, I feel like that was the best bit for her to sing, and her voice just sort of, everybody would hear her voice. Her voice was above everybody else's voice. She had a strong voice.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that she had, when I look at her, I think that she had such a sort of talent with her voice that, you know, I wonder whether she could have, done something with that, you know, in a more sort of public way, because I do think that she had a particular talent. I'm just being shown music, where you have the 5 lines and then the notes going across the lines. But I've just been shown music, so I don't know if she could read music or understood music. Does that make sense to you, Mary?
No, ma'am.
Okay, because I was just shown that, and so that was my interpretation that she could. But I think that's just sort of her showing me that she liked music. She liked singing, and I feel like that there's a sort of an encouragement to you to also sort of use your voice as well, because she's telling me that you're a little bit shy with your voice. Would you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
But she says that you've got her talent, that you have the ability to sing just like her, and she's almost like she's pushing you, and sort of saying, "Come on, you could do this too. You could sing." And she said she got so much pleasure out of it that she wants you to have the same pleasure.
Yes,
she's
ma'am.
also saying to me that she's apologizing to you because she says that she left this world. Uh, it feels like it's quickly. It's like or sort of like it was sort of a bit. She makes me feel like it's a bit of a shock. Her leaving, and it wasn't sort of expected, and she makes me feel like she wasn't sort of a great age either. She says that she it was as much a shock to her, she says, as it was to everyone else. And she says that she wishes that she could have at least had a sort of a lengthy life, a longer life, and she's rather frustrated that she hasn't been remained in this world a little bit longer, because she says that there's been some events in the family that she would have liked to have been sort of physically actively involved in, and I feel like the events are I feel like has a baby been born since she's passed?
Yes.
And because she's talking about the baby, and she's she wants you to know that the baby is as important to her from the spirit world as it would have been when she was here. And she's saying that she's able to be around members of the family, including the baby, and she's never far away.
He was conceived on the day she died.
Wow. Oh my goodness. How special is that? It's like a little gift, isn't it? Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yes, today makes 10 years she's been gone.
Pardon?
Today makes 10 years she's been gone.
And is this your baby? I believe it is.
Yes, ma'am.
And she's saying to me that she loves the baby just as much and I, obviously it's a 10-year-old baby now, but she loves, or 9. She loves the child just as much as if she were here, on the earth plane. And she's saying to me that she's making a promise to you. She will do her utmost to be in everyone's life and help everyone in every way that she possibly can. Even though she's in the spirit world. And she's also saying to me that you've been thinking about making some sort of slight changes in your life. And she's saying that you've been almost like asking up, what should I do? I feel like do you talk to your mum?
All the time.
Yeah, because she's saying you do. She's saying, you're asking up, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? And she's laughing as I'm saying this. And she says that, because I feel like it's almost like you feel like a bit of a loss as what to do in your life. And I'm not quite sure of the details. Can you tell me what the details are of that? I feel like it's a number of things, like where to live, where to work, where to be, and just sort of where to go. Does that make sense to you? Because she's saying that you're not happy in your current environment. You're not happy.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. And she's saying to me that she's going to guide you into the right direction. She wants to make sure that you're happy, and she's going to guide you. I've got another caller waiting, but just know that she's going to guide you. And also, she's saying before she leaves, she's just waving, and she's saying to me, please tell my daughter that I love her, and I never stop loving her. I really do love her. So just know that she's going to be guiding you, and she's with you on this journey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary, for calling in, and I hope it all goes well for you.
All right.
Thank you. Right, so we have Christy in Brookings, South Dakota. Are you there, Christy?
I am.
Oh, hi, you're very clear.
Oh, good.
So I'm a medium, and I can connect to loved ones in the spirit world, or I can focus on something particular in your life and get guidance from my guides. Is there a particular area where you'd like me to focus, or is there somebody in particular that you'd like to connect to in the spirit world?
Just on love, relationship-wise.
Right. Are you in a relationship? Can I just ask?
No.
I didn't feel you were, because I'm not sensing anyone at the moment. Right. Okay. So the question really is, are you going to meet somebody? Is that the question?
Well, this guy that I had been talking to for a while has been in and out, and I was just wondering, is he ever going to come back, or
right? Okay, let me look at him specifically. Then that's really what you're looking for, isn't it? Okay. Right. So I feel with him is that he almost feels as though there is there's a sense of commitment issues with him, and I get the feeling with him that there's a little bit of is it immaturity? Is that too strong a word? for him. I don't know, but
no.
you go along with that, would you? I just get the feeling that he perhaps almost isn't ready for the grown-up world, you know, and I just feel that he will be almost like he likes his freedom and likes his sort of, you know, life, and then he likes the comfort of a relationship, and then he, you know, I feel like he's almost like he's confused in his mind as to what he actually wants, and I feel that he is almost like he's sort of, and I also feel with him that I feel that with him he's more about sort of having fun in the world and going out and having fun, and I feel that sort of element with him. But I just get the feeling, I'm just asking if this is the person for you or whether there's somebody else. So I'm just asking that to my guides, because I think that's more of a pertinent question here. And I'm being told that he is with you, you know, coming and going for a specific reason, because I get the feeling that there is something that is going to be almost like both of you will learn from this relationship, or lack of, and I just get the feeling that this is not going to go to complete, you know, fruition and go to sort of, you know, a full blown relationship. But I do get the feeling that you within the next 1 to 2 years, I would imagine, I get the feeling that you are actually going to meet somebody else. And I feel that this person has a great deal more maturity than the person that you've been looking at. And I get the feeling with him that he is going to be, he's just literally, being shown a man getting down on his knees and asking for your hand in marriage. Ooh, that's nice, isn't it?
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, we'll have some of that, won't we? So I just get the feeling that you're going to meet somebody who is ready for that commitment, who's ready to sort of, you know, want to embark on a more serious life. And I also, I mean, I've no idea how old you are, but I get the feeling that he is going to want children as well. And I just get the feeling that it's going to be a big relationship that is coming your way.
Okay.
I also am being told that he's also quite established, you know, established financially, and, you know, in a work, and I feel like he's involved in business, you know, because I'm being shown somebody wearing a suit, rather than
that's the guy that I've been wanting to get back together with.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah, he's very well to do and everything, and got a good job and everything.
Right.
Just, I came from a really bad marriage, and when we bring up stuff like with my kids and stuff with my ex, he kind of turns me off. He ghosts on me.
Right. Yeah.
So I can see the immaturity there.
Yeah. I mean, it may be that I'm seeing this, it's this guy that's going to come forward in 1 to 2 years more seriously. But let me see if I can describe him a bit more and see if it matches even more.
Sure.
I get the feeling that he is, work is everything to him. You know, I feel like he's very dedicated to work, and I feel like he can sometimes work long hours. He can be a little bit workaholic, and I feel
Yep.
and I feel also that there is. I feel like I've got links. I feel, I don't know whether this links to New York in my work. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-mm.
It must be something to do with, because I'm being drawn to sort of places like Wall Street and things like that. So
Okay.
I don't know if his business is involved in that, but I also get I can see this glass building as well, and where offices are.
Okay.
Does that make sense to him?
He works from home. He works for a huge company out of Minneapolis.
Right. And has the company got links in New York?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, and I because I feel like there is links to New York and links to I feel like the business is almost like when you look at sort of a lot of business is centered around New York. I just get that feeling of it's like the central, or maybe a head office, or it needs to be, New York is what sort of gears it, is what I'm feeling. And I just get the feeling that also I get the feeling that you may be, that there may be a move as well with this relationship that you're going to be going into.
Okay.
I'm not convinced. It may be this person, but I'm not convinced of it.
Okay.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's someone different. I'm not convinced. And I just get this feeling that you're going to need to move to be closer to this person. And I feel like this is something that's going to be, I don't know whether it's move in the local area or move further. I don't know. But I'm just getting that sense of moving. And I'm also feeling that your New York is very, very significant with this man that you're going to meet.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm just getting New York over and over again, and I feel, and I'm just also like Wall Street and sort of that sort of ethos of banking.